When it comes to selling on Amazon, almost nothing is more critical than having a well-optimized, keyword-rich listing. But the steps to getting there, finding the right keywords, using the right copy, structuring your title, bullets, backend keywords, A+ content, it all gets really complex quickly. But if you want to stand out from the competition, if you want to dominate organic keyword ranking and indexing, nothing can be more powerful than what you're about to watch in this video. Because we're going to break down a step-by-step, advanced, sophisticated strategy to really structure your listing on Amazon so that you can dominate almost any competition. This is stuff you're not going to find anywhere else. These are strategies that are going to put you in the top 1% of Amazon sellers. So buckle in. Let's go. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Heist, the YouTube channel that provides deep dive content on how to take your Amazon FBA business to the next level. Now, today's masterclass, we're going to go really deep because creating and optimizing a listing on Amazon can be one of the most critical elements to finding success, to getting organic ranking, to getting a profitable business, and to significantly outpacing your competition. If you rewind the clock a couple years, we actually did a listing optimization video that for the first time, I think, enlightened people into how powerful you can leverage SEO and keywords, fusing that with copy to make a killer listing. But in the years since, our strategy's gotten refined, and frankly, it's gotten really, really good. The step-by-step detail and sophistication on optimizing a listing that we're gonna go through today, in my opinion, which hopefully is humble, even though I'm gonna say this, is probably the best out there. We're gonna take structured data sources using keywords that no one else has access to. We're gonna fuse this into a really methodical approach on how to identify, prioritize, and target the right keywords. We're then gonna take those keywords and figure out how you can actually inject them into your title, bullets, backend, and how you can outpace, outrank, and dominate the competition. All right, let's strap in, grab our coffees, and head over to my computer. All right, so for this listing optimization masterclass, we've broken down a detailed step-by-step SOP that you can follow. You can get access to this for free by clicking the link down below. Once you kind of enroll there, you're gonna get an email within like 30 seconds to a minute. So you're gonna get access to this file. You don't need to take crazy notes. It's all gonna be here in this document. Now, the listing optimization that we're gonna be doing is gonna be using a tool called Keyword Dominator Boosted. More specifically, within that tool, there's a listing wizard tab, which you're looking at right now, that we're going to basically take all of these highly relevant targeted keywords and build out a kick-ass listing. So to set all that up, it takes about 10 minutes. I've included a detailed link here to the Keyword Dominator Boosted setup video. But what we've basically done there is we basically pulled in 7+ data sources to uncover the keywords that no other competitors are focused on from data sources that most aren't paying attention to. This includes software tools like Helium 10 or ZonGuru. We basically look at 10 of the competitors. We scrape all of the data. We identify the highly relevant words that these successful ASINs are ranking on. We import that data. We then look at the alpha ASINs, or those top dog successful ASINs. We scrape and identify where they're ranked top 10 where nobody else is. We pull those keywords in. And then we bring in data-rich, real data sources from Amazon, things like Opportunity Explorer, Brand Analytics, Search Query Report, even your own product's pay-per-click data if you're looking to optimize your own product. We accumulate all of those words, we bring them into Keyword Dominator Boosted, and then we really need to figure out which ones we want to implement into our listing, which is what this video is all about. So if you want to do this setup, there's all the steps here, as well as a link to that video that you can watch after the fact. But once you've got all of that set up, basically this is a view that you're going to see within the listing wizard tab. So we're going to go ahead and pretend that this is our listing here. It's brought all of the title, bullets, and content of the listing here into this editable Google Sheets. You'll see here that it's imported 346 keywords with north of 180,000 monthly searches. So again, using all these data sources, these are these unique words that almost no other sellers found that we've now brought into our list. You can also see things like the other competitors' listings here if we want to see what their listings look like. We can see where they're ranked on all of these various terms. If we scroll all the way across, you can actually see a comparison on ASINs. So how much of the total search volume is indexed for the listing, the way that it's been created, what the top 10 search volume is for each of these listings, top 30, how much search volume has actually been indexed in their title, how much of that search volume is exact versus broad or phrase. So we've got a lot of really interesting dynamic data here based on how optimized the listings are today, in addition to a lot of other data here that you can see in terms of the performance of that product that comes from software like Helium 10 and ZonGuru. You can also see really cool stuff on the current listings like the rank distribution. So in this example, we can see each one of these ASINs, how many keywords that product is ranked organically, spots 1 to 4. So we can see this first listing here has 16 terms, total of 26,000 search volume that they're ranked 1 to 4. Same thing for 5 to 10, 11 to 30, 35 to 50, etc. And if we scroll back here to the front, we can actually do this drop down on the listing optimization dashboard as well. So we can see our product here does revenue of 161,000. It's got search volume of 87.5 thousand. The title has just about 7,000 search terms optimized. And we can basically just see here between the title and the bullets, how many search terms this product's actually indexed for in this listing. And we can really use this as we start to edit and update listings to benchmark how we're doing and how optimized we're getting versus the competition. All right, so now that we've got everything set up, we can now go to the second step of this SOP here. If we just go down to the drop button here, we're gonna actually prioritize the target keyword list. So you can see again here that we got 346 words. Now I'd love to throw all of those in the listing, but due to the size limits within what you can actually optimize for in your listing, it's just not going to be possible. So we've got to find the words that are the most relevant, that have the highest search volume, and that are going to give us the biggest bang for the buck. The first thing that we need to kind of denote here is that we're going to give a number ranking on each of those keywords depending on how much we actually care about it, so we can actually determine which ones we want to sort by which value. So if we give it a number 1, it's basically going to be a highly relevant search term with a decent amount of volume that we really care about, and we want to optimize into our title first and then do our bullets. If it's got kind of medium relevance or not quite the same amount of search volume we really want to optimize for, we're going to give it a 2. If it's a branded search term, we're going to give it a number 3. Now the reason being is that it's against Amazon's terms of service to put competitor brand terms into your listing. So we want to flag all of those with a 3 so we know that. Stay through towards the end. I'm going to talk about a hack that is terms of service compliant for how to integrate some of these branded terms, but we want to label all of those a 3 so we know the branded search terms. And then if we give it a 4, it basically means that it's irrelevant. We just don't care about it. The search volume's too low. So how we go about doing this, we first can kind of do a couple things just to clean up this format so we can edit our listing a little bit here. First thing you're going to want to do is come down to this optimize listing drop down, go ahead and hit the arrow. It's going to run a script that's just going to kind of tidy things up a little bit here. You just hit yes. It's going to make it a lot more usable as we start to edit and optimize that mode there. So you can see it's cleaned things up a little bit here. The second thing that we're going to want to do here is go to freeze mode on, hit the arrow there. And what this is going to be able to do is just pin a row here so that as we go across and want to look at specific search terms across different data points, it's kind of freeze the frame there and we're ready to optimize. Going back to our SOP here, so we've turned on optimize mode, we turn on freeze mode. We now want to show the relevant alpha listings or those high performing competitive listings next to ours so that we can compare and contrast as we need to. So if you come back here, there's some toggles here across this compare ASINs. So we can just look across here and just see, just based on the dollar revenue amount, these ones that are highlighted here in darker colors basically mean that they've got higher revenue. So we're going to want to look at the price. We're going to want to look at the features. Is it the same material as our golf bag? We'll select the ones that we care about. So I'm just going to go ahead, select here these first 2. You hit that arrow there, and now it's populated. You can see here these additional ASINs. So if I ever want to even just copy a title, copy a bullet, and kind of work off of an existing competitor, we've now got that data here that we can see. So going back to our SOP here, now is when the fun starts, because we're going to actually deploy some advanced features that again are really unique to the strategy that we use and really unique to this keyword Dominator boosted tool. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is actually just look at the keyword frequency here. So if we come up here to this keyword Dominator boosted menu, we go to this listing wizard tool. We can just go to this one, check keyword frequency. So what it's done here, if you look on this section, keyword frequency on the right, it's taken all these search terms within the target keyword list. It's pulled out individual single words and it's thrown them here to see how many times they've actually been mentioned. So we can see across all of these 346 keywords in the target list. Golf has been mentioned 338 times for a total search volume of 155,000. It basically goes top to bottom. So now we've got these single keywords, so we just know how how keywords are distributed across this target list. Moving along here, we can actually now pull the popular brands to identify again those branded search terms. So if I come back up to this keyword dominator listing wizard tool, go down to to list popular brands, run that script, and you can see here in this brand list is pulled all of the different branded search terms here into this column. Now what we can do here is we can go ahead and copy all of these branded terms from that branded list, and then we can actually paste them into that remove list there. So now we've got this remove list. Again, we just want to flag those branded terms here. So if you come up to keyword dominator boosted listing wizard tools and go refresh flag terms. So what it's going to do after you hit yes is you can just see in this column here, there's just a caution symbol. So we'll know anytime there's a branded term, we actually know, and we can actually give it a proper notation. So the first thing that we're going to want to do here, just remove blanks. We're just going to give all of these here a 3 just to denote that that's a competitor term. Drag that along so we know now within our list which ones are branded. Again, if we want to actually integrate some of those terms of service compliance strategy, we'll get to that towards the end when we talk about how to integrate brand terms. So what we want to do next is either take one or multiple of those alpha ASINs, again, the ones that have the highest revenue performance. We want to uncover where they're ranked really, really well, because we want to flag those as a 1, because if our competitors that are the best competitors are ranking really well, that should denote that we really should care about those terms. They likely have the best search volume, they're likely the most relevant, and they will make us successful too if we can integrate and optimize those into our listing. So going back to the keyword dominator boosted, let's just go ahead and take this outdoor master one as an example. I'm going to filter by condition and just say that it's less than or equal to 10. So basically they're in the top 10. Go ahead and put that. I'll actually remove the 0 as well, because we don't care if they're not ranked at all. So these are all of the terms that this outdoor master, which is doing really well, is ranked top 10 or better. So we're going to go ahead again, put that as a priority 1, because those are terms that we should care about. Drag those all the way down. We started to build out our highest priority target list. Okay, so this next one we're going to do is sort by our top performers, which again is a really niche, unique strategy that we've come up with and integrated in this tool, which basically finds out, hey, where are we doing the best? So if this is a current listing you're optimizing, you likely want to know where you're doing best and ensure that you defend that performance by making sure that it's optimized in your listing if it's not already. So if we come back here to keyword dominator boosted and we just go down from this drop down to the high potential list and hit the arrow there, it's going to basically pull all the terms based on the organic rank settings that we've got. I think in this case we've got anywhere where we're top 15 or better. Going to go ahead and hit OK there. So it's gone ahead and applied this list, and we're going to go ahead and put a priority 1 again on all of those if it doesn't already have a number. Once that's done, you can just go ahead and click that clear filter button, and it's going to refresh that list for us. We can go back to the SOP. The next thing we can do is actually sort by the search query report. Again, what's really cool about the Amazon data that we integrate is the search query report tells us exactly where add to carts, sales, views, etc. come from, and we can look at the ones where we're actually missing opportunities and make sure that we integrate those again into our listing. So looking here at the search term query report section, what we can basically do is look at any of the search volume, clear all of this. So once we've cleared that out, we can basically see that all of these terms here that don't exist in our search term query report, we probably care about. So we're going to go ahead and put a 1 on all of the ones here that have no value. So we plugged all those in there, and again, the search term query report is a gem. If we see it as a blank there and we see it in the target keyword list, it's likely something that's super, super important that we want to flag as a 1. So going back to the SOP here, we've done the search query report. The other thing that I like to do is whatever monthly search volume that you really think is irrelevant, usually it's going to be less than 350, sometimes even less than 500. Basically, there's not enough search volume there to make sense to actually put it in your listing. Again, because you can only fit so many search terms in your listing, we're going to run out of room. And so we want to just go ahead and clear those as a 4, just so that we know we don't need to care about them when it comes to optimizing the listing. So if I come up here and I just hit that refresh button, it's going to clear that tab out there. What we can basically do once it's cleared out that filter here is we can look at the search volume. We can go ahead and filter by condition and just say less than or equal to, let's go ahead and put 500 here. And then if we haven't already prioritized it as a valuable one from those previous ones, clear those blanks. And we're just going to put that as a priority 4 and drag that sucker down. So we've cleared all of the low volume search terms. You can just see there wasn't a ton of them, but we've cleared those. We can hit refresh on that, go back to the SOP. Then we want to look at the competitor winners. Again, this is a very unique strategy to what we use that I don't think many people out there are using, and it's integrated into Keyword Dominator Boosted, which is pretty slick. And that's basically to find those competitor winners, basically where they're ranked really well, but you're ranked 15 or worse, and you can customize those settings if you want. So if we come back here down to this drop down and go to competitor winners, hit the arrow, it's going to refresh this target list to only those keywords where the competitors are doing really well, top 15, and we are not. Thought being that if they're top 15, it's likely a relevant word that they're actually finding success with. And if we're not ranked top 15, it's something that we could pick up some additional search volume from. So we'll go ahead here. If it doesn't have a number, it looks actually like there's none there. So luckily we've already ranked all these, but if there was a blank here, we would go ahead and select a blank and make that a competitor winner target number 1, just so that we have that as part of our list. But in this case, all of those search terms have already been optimized for. I can refresh that list there. And then you basically just want to kind of clear all the filters, which we've done, and then just see if there's any here that actually don't have a priority. So we can see this is the list that we basically haven't ranked yet. So it's not too bad. It's like 22 keywords. So what we want to do here is manually look at these keywords one by one, see if it's relevant, or if the search volume is high enough, we'll give it a 1, a 2, or if it's irrelevant, we'll give it a 4. You can see the source here on how this is brought in. So if it's got an ASIN here, that basically means that this ASIN is ranked on hardshell case where nobody else is. If it's brought in from Cerebro or ZonGuru, we can see the relevance number. Or if we've imported it manually as part of that process, we can see here. And if you're ever really not sure about how things look, I can actually click on that magnifying glass, and I can actually go and click on this link and look at Amazon. So sometimes I like to look one by one and just say, hey, is this relevant to my product or not? So hardshell case, I'm gonna actually give that a priority 4, just because hardshell case could be not related to golf, which in our case is golf. So I'm going to put that 4. Hard case travel bag, heck yeah, that's 1, and that's 2,600. We definitely want to look at that one. Travel golf bags for airline, heck yes, let's put that as a 1. Travel golf bag hard, yes. Golf bag hard case, yes. Travel golf bag hard case, yes. We're getting a lot of good ones here. Hardcover golf travel bag, yes. Airplane golf bag, 100%. Golf bag for airplane, yes. Wheeled golf travel bag, yes. Travel rod, nope, we're going to give that a 4 because it's not relevant. Sun Mountain travel golf bag, actually that was a branded term that didn't get picked up, so I'm going to give that a 4. You get the idea. You just go through here manually and hit any of those that are missing. So now we've done section 2 of the step process, which is to assign an actual priority number to every single keyword that matters. Now's where the fun begins. All right, so now that we've got our list prioritized, let's start having some fun and actually optimizing an actual listing. So we've got the SOP here that we're gonna go step by step through this. I've also included here at the bottom just some best practices for the actual listing copy itself. So here's my approach. You might have a slightly different one, but this is the one that is kind of the formula and process that works best for us. Is for the title, first of all, I like to be much more SEO focused on the title. You just get a lot of power from the keywords that you put in your title, especially if it's closer to the front. And oftentimes, especially that back half of the title, most customers aren't even looking at it anyway. But because it's got the most power, we want to include as many of those in the title as feasible. So generally speaking, the formula that we use here is we have the brand name first. We put the most important number 1 search terms as close to the front as possible, and we'll try to weave in some words that are really powerful descriptors of the unique selling proposition. So since we've got a hard travel case, we may want to put in something like indestructible in front of keywords, other things that are going to have some power to click through and conversion rate for the listing. And then on the back end, one of the hacks that I like to use is there's a couple of circumstances where you can actually use a competitor's brand term in your title or in your listing. So say for example, I'm selling an iPhone case for the iPhone 11. I could say hard shell phone case works with Apple iPhone 11 or compatible with Apple iPhone 11. So there's certain terms that you can put in and then correspond that with branded terms to actually scoop in some of that in your listing. So usually towards the back half of our title, we'll integrate those brand terms when it makes sense. So in our case, since we're selling a golf travel case, there might be key competitors like Titleist or Ping, these big brands that people may be searching for that we can integrate into our title. So we could say something like hard shell travel case compatible with Titleist, Ping, Callaway golf clubs. And now we scooped up those words and can really get a lot of power that most people aren't searching for. But the formula here for the title I'm including there. And then in terms of the bullets, you'll typically have 5 bullets available to you. So we like to keep them 250 bytes or less per bullet, because really Amazon's only going to index for your first 1,000 bytes or characters in your listing. So if you've got 5 bullets, it's really those first 4 that matter that are going to index. There's now a new feature that's come out where some listings in some categories actually get 10 bullets. So in those cases, if you want to actually use 10 bullets, make it 100 per bullet, again, just so you can make sure that you're indexing for 1,000 bytes or less. So generally speaking, this bullet, number 1, we want to deliver the best value prop and advantage. Number 2, we want to kind of hook them with what makes our product great or better. Number 3, we like to address the fears. Oftentimes people have some concerns in their head, objections. You can see this a lot from the review content of competitors. And you can get in front of those objections, those fears, and curtail that in the customer's mind. We use bullet 3 for that. And then bullet 4, again, if we've got a how to use the product, something that can get in front of return rates or again answer questions in a customer's mind, we can throw that in there. We'll also sometimes integrate some competitor brand terms using the same strategy in the title that I talked about here. And then the 5th one is just to put a bow on it. Because we're selling on Amazon, we're typically going to be going against big brands that they may know from retail stores, or we're going to be going against kind of sketchy foreign competitors that might have really great price. So we like to stand out, speak to our customer archetype here, really show how we're different from those big brands and how we're better than those sketchy foreign competitors. So here you may want to talk about the fact that you're US based. Since we're selling a golf bag here, we might say something like made or designed by golfers for golfers. Again, connect emotionally here with that customer that's looking at your product and stand apart from those different competitive segments. But let's roll up our sleeves here and kind of go back to this target list. There's a really cool button that has been added here. So if you click on the sort button here, it's going to run a script. And what it's basically going to do is it's going to prioritize by the numeric value priority number 1. And then it's also going to sort by the highest search volume. Because again, our higher priority number 1 means it's relevant. And then we basically want to find the highest search volume possible and work down from that. So we can see here after the sort, the search term that's the most relevant with the most search volume is golf travel bags for airline with wheels. Very, very descriptive and long tail there. And then we can also see here anything that's colorized basically means that it's already in our actual listing that we're trying to optimize here. So if it's in this teal blue color, we can see that's the title. If it's purple, it's in the search terms. If it's red, it's in the bullets. If it's yellow, it's in the description, or if it's this blue color, it basically means it's in the A+ content. So if it's not highlighted, if this is a clear non-colorized one, it basically means it's not optimized at all in our listing and we can actually optimize for it. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have some fun myself off camera, just optimizing this title here a little bit and decolorizing these so we can get a little bit more rich. But basically what you're going to want to do top to bottom, massaging as many of these words into your title and bullets as possible. Again, using that approach and formula that I think makes the most sense that I've described in the SOP step. All right, so with the magic of editing, I've now kind of optimized some of this listing using that prioritized list and massaging as many of those keywords as possible that matter into the title and then working my way down through the bullets. Again, title a little bit more SEO heavy. The bullets is a little bit more where you want to be copywriting, speaking to your customer, really revealing the reason why somebody should purchase your product. But a couple of the strategies here, if we just look at this listing, first of all, we start with the title capitalized typically. This is really important, especially if you've got a brand that's unique to, say, foreign sellers, so you can really stand out. And then you'll see here I put indestructible golf bag travel case as the first thing. I like to use those punchy, dramatic terms that improve the click-through rate, improve conversion, and really draw people in to actually click on your listing, and then just get really SEO heavy after that. The second thing that you really want to keep in mind is that you'd like to think that everybody reads the novel that is your bullets, where they probably won't. They're probably scanning in a matter of seconds. So it's really important to have really unique selling proposition, punchy language at the top of your bullets. You're going to care less so at the front of your bullets about keywords. If you can work them in, great, but generally speaking, you want those to be punchy value props. So you can just see if somebody scanned this listing, this is what they're going to see. Indestructible hard case, protects your clubs, huge storage, foldable and compact, made for golfers by golfers. So even if they don't read all 1,000 characters, they've got a pretty good summation that, hey, this is a pretty legit brand and they're hitting on a lot of things that I care about. You can also just see some of the languages I put in here. You try to want to speak like a human being in the bullets. So indestructible hard case, not even an airline baggage handler can damage our golf club travel hard case. So I've included a keyword there, but I've also kind of brought in an actual user experience. Hey, I'm checking this into Delta Airlines. Somebody's going to beat the shit out of my bag, and you're speaking to that experience that somebody can actually equate to if they're buying this product. Built to take a beating, this golf bag hard case has been battle tested and engineered to last. Again, fusing SEO with language that speaks to the customer. Just really quickly, I'll look at the second bullet here, protects your clubs. So you've paid thousands for your dream set of golf clubs. Can you really trust them to a soft case travel golf bag? Heck no. Get a golf travel bag with protection and the portability of wheels. So again, I'm honing in on a key customer concern. I've spent thousands on my Titleist golf clubs. I'm concerned about it. I'm now standing out against those soft travel cases, and I've differentiated myself from other really good selling competitors that have a soft bag travel case. So just a bit of a psychology here. Obviously this is more about SEO, but you want to fuse those two worlds together. Now what's really cool about this list is, if you can see here, if I scroll down, I can now see all of the terms that I've actually optimized for in my listing. Most of these were white before, which meant that they weren't even included or optimized into this listing. So anything in blue here, we've actually integrated into the title. Anything in red, we've actually integrated into the bullets. So you can see a whack load of optimization has taken place here on most of the search terms, over 1,000 searches or more. So before even looking at the search term optimization, which we're going to get into next, if I just open up this listing optimization dashboard, you can see now that we've got search volume of almost 69,000 with 47,000 plus searches in our title. And if you can just see the optimization against these other competitors that we pulled in that are actually successful, we're kicking the living crap out of these guys and we're ready to dominate them on organic performance. If you look at what this was at the start, you can just see here we only had 6,895 terms here versus now the 47,000. So we've added north of 40,000 search terms into this listing just by this optimization exercise, and they're words that have a lot of search volume. But if you thought we were done, we're not quite done yet, because you'll see here we've got this search term field which is 250 bytes. This is back end behind the listing. No customer is ever going to see this. This is just a scrape for the Amazon algorithm to index individual words that we can actually accumulate credit for and help with our indexing and ranking on words that we couldn't quite fit into our listing. And there's some really slick ways that we do this. We're going to go through the step here now. So if we go back to our masterclass, we've again optimized the title and integrated as much as possible. So now we want to filter anything in the target list without a color. So what we want to do for anything that's not actually been optimized in the title, I usually here like to take my priority ones and my priority twos. We don't actually have priority twos in here. So we want to remove the branded terms number 3, because again, you can't put branded terms in the backend search terms. That's a big no-no and can flag your listing. And we also want to remove the 4s, which are really those irrelevant terms that are either really low volume or we just don't really quite care about them. So if I do that, I've now kind of just got that priority ones. And then if I come down to this drop down on the target keyword list, what I can do is I can actually filter by color. So I can just go here, filter by the whites, which basically means that it has not been included in the title or bullets up to this point. And then I've got this list here. If I just kind of scroll all the way down, it's a pretty healthy list. It's 90 keywords. I can just go ahead and copy that. But if you go over here to the right, you'll see this rank more list. I'm going to go Control-Shift-V here, copy those terms. Now it's got a list of all the individual search terms that I've not yet integrated into my listing. We're going to now run a process to individually put those into single words, so that we can kind of figure out how many of them we can fit into our search terms. So if we go back to our SOP here, we've copied that list, we've added it to rank more, and we've copied it into the table. Now what we basically want to do is go to this keyword boosted listing wizard tools, search term optimizer, and process the phrase list. So if I go down to the Keyword Dominator Boosted dropdown and we come down here to the search term optimizer number 4, we're going to go ahead and process that phrase list. And then you'll see here in this big block here, it's copied and individually put all of those words into this bulk thing. So if we go ahead and copy that, we come to the search terms, actually kind of click up to the top here, we paste that in there and hit enter. Now I'd love to say that we could put all of these individual words into our search term field, but we actually have a limit of 250 bytes here. And you can see that 1,540 of them have actually been selected here. So we're not going to be able to fit all of those in there. But now that we've got these in our listing, what we can actually do is we can run another script to basically pull any of them that aren't, again, in this listing, then it's going to deduplicate all those. So within this big batch of words, there's golf, there's bag, there's travel, there's case. There's a lot of terms that we've probably had multiple times that's in this list. By running this next script, it'll deduplicate those and only bring out the individual terms that have not existed in our listing. So if we come back to this Keyword Dominator Boosted drop down again, we go to the search term optimizer number 4, and then we go to B, optimize search terms. It's going to run that script and deduplicate it and put it here into this section. So we're going to go ahead and copy that. I just do Command A or Shift A just to select all that and delete it. We're just going to paste those values in there. Now we're down to 423. This is now giving us those individual terms that we can kind of whittle down to that 250 bytes or less to optimize those backend search terms. So since this is above 250, typically what I'll do is I'll manually go through here and pull the words out that just don't make sense, and I can delete those. The other thing I can do is the ones I think are a little bit lower priority, maybe it's a Spanish term or some other one that I don't think really matters as much, and I can actually put that into the A+ content. So when you go into your listing builder and your A+ content, there's actually metadata that you can actually put those search terms in and actually get credit for. So I'm just going to take a swag at this here and try to get it close. I'm just going to copy, I don't know, roughly that much. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out of there. We're down to 271. I'm going to put some of that in the EBC just so I've got a field down there. Let's just do a couple more. All right, so I've got it down to 221, but you get the idea. You basically massage these into the EBC until you get the search terms that is 250 or less. So now we've got literally one of the most optimized listings in this category. In fact, we're well above everybody else. As we start to convert on those terms, get add to carts, get sales, run pay-per-click, run external traffic, we now have this engine that Amazon's algorithm is going to recognize. And I'm telling you, the power that comes out of this in terms of organic ranking, sales, overall performance, lower BSR, sets you apart from the competition. Now, one other unique hack, if you're not a copywriter and don't want to pay somebody to do it, or English is your second language, is you can actually even optimize and massage the copy even more using artificial intelligence. So let's just for fun take this indestructible hard case bullet as an example. I'm going to go over to a site called jasper.ai. So I'm now within Jasper's platform. It's pretty inexpensive and there's a bunch of different templates that you can use, but if you scroll down here, there's actually some Amazon specific stuff here within the templates. There's the bullets feature, and then there's actually a product description. Despite the fact that we're optimizing a bullet, I actually like the product description one. So you can just put in your product name here. I'll just keep it simple, not use the brand, but I'll put golf travel case. I'm going to copy in that feature that I want to optimize, and then you can use tone of voice. You can use witty, funny, etc. So I might just do funny here, and then generate AI content. And what's really cool is you can take your existing raw bullets before you optimize your listing and plug them in here, and it's going to give you a bunch of options. Or even after the exercise we just did, you may want to fine tune some of the language. So you can see here some of the additional stuff in terms that they brought in here. So looking for a golf bag hard case that can take a beating, look no further than our indestructible golf travel case. Engineered to last, this golf club hard case has been battle tested by airline baggage handlers around the world. Trust us, your clubs will be safe with us. This is a freaking computer that's writing this, not a human being. So if you don't trust your own copywriting skills, or you want to even just take your raw listing, one other hack here is that you can plug it into this AI tool. But that's it, guys. Listing Masterclass. Hope you dug it. Hope it takes your listings in your Amazon business to the next level. Now for the conclusion. All right, guys. Well, I hope you can agree that that is one of the most sophisticated approaches to dominating and optimizing listings on the Amazon platform. Harnessing this strategy, identifying keywords, targeting the right keywords and fusing those into your listing in a unique way that sets yourself apart from the competition is one of the many ways you can dominate on the Amazon platform. And if you like this video and want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes, a shameless plug for my course, the FBA Blueprint, where we've got north of now 130 deep dive videos on topics just like this that cover the entirety of building and scaling an Amazon business. And in our pro program, we've got over 250 SOPs. We've got dozens of scale documents and tools. I jump on hour-and-a-half long calls, Q&A calls, twice a month with everybody in the community. And you get access to one of the coolest private Facebook groups in the Amazon space where you can ask me and other high-level sellers questions that you may have on your journey. So if you've ever thought about locking arms with me, take a look at the link down below to join the FBA Blueprint. Otherwise, subscribe, like, comment, do all those weird things that the YouTube algorithm likes, and we will see you when we drop another video next Monday. Cheers, guys.